Gucci. Can you say Gucci as in Gucci Man and Keisha Kayor? These two are a phenomenal couple making money moves in the Atlanta area. However, it wasn't always so. And so tonight, we will take a look into the journey of this couple and see if what happened for them is the norm or is it an anomaly. As many of you know, that Gucci Mane mentioned that he left his wife $2 million and came back with $6 million after dabbling with her 3 companies. Fly guys, let me ask you a question. Can your boo do that? Butterflies, can you do that? Not only did she flip his money, she also changed his image for the better. So, I want you to do this. I want you to get ready because we're ready. And we will be right back after this. Are you ready, AB? All right, hit it. Yeah.
He spoke, fashion. I'm telling you, he spoke, fashion. I'm so bad. He spoke, fashion. I'm telling you, he spoke.
Again, thank you for joining us. Listen, this is HeSpoke Fashion, and I am the host, Daylon Thomas, and this is where we discuss women's fashion from a man's perspective. And of course, we endeavor to go everywhere fashion is. And on this week, I want to discuss the topic, can a fashionable woman motivate a man to level up? As many of you know, Keisha Kayor remained loyal to Gucci through prison stints, probationary periods, and a 6-month house arrest. I would like to say that it is commendable that 2 rich people gave one another that love and support and fought through tough times. Keisha, however, some might say is the exception to the rule. So let's be clear that for every one Keisha, there are thousands of women who are chasing that same dream, hoping to save a man from his mess and then end up knee deep. The fact is that their marriage is glorified because Keisha is a ride or die chick who got her man to change his ways and was rewarded with a ring and a dream wedding. So I had to ask the question, is there a method to the madness? Can a fashionable woman motivate a man to level up? So let's just get right down to this. I want you to go ahead and tell Lottie Dottie and everybody that we're live and they want to join in this discussion. So let me start and set this up by playing this video clip, and we'll be right back right after this.
What's your name?
Karen. Yes.
Karen, you're beautiful. You make a brother want to sing to you.
Brother man was looking good. He was treating her like a queen, and she gave him everything he wanted. He was exactly where he should be, eating out of the palm of her hands, begging her to
Marry me. Marry me.
Wow, wow. As you saw in that clip, Bobby Brown was playing the role as someone that really did not have his stuff together when he met and approached that young lady. I want to know, my beautiful butterflies, how many times has that happened to you? How many times has it been that someone approached you and they just really didn't have their things together? And so in this clip, we saw where she was able to work with Bobby Brown to help him turn things around for himself. And by him doing so, it made it even better for their relationship. He ended up asking her to marry him. So I want to look at that and in comparison to a real life story with Gucci and Keisha. And so as we all know, Gucci, of course, had success as a rapper prior to his involvement and subsequent marriage to Keisha. But what some of you don't know is that Keisha was making a name for herself in the industry as well. So first of all, she moved to South Beach to pursue modeling under the name Keisha Dior. She earned roles in a few music videos, including for Timbaland's Say Something, and she gained a following on social media. So as the story goes, one night in 2009, she wanted to wear blue lipstick to match her shoes and her dress and couldn't find one from any of the major cosmetic companies. And I would say yes, back in 2009, you probably could not find that color. And she says, and I quote, "My friends were all like, you can't wear blue lipstick because people will make fun of you. I ignored them because I'm always a unique person and I want to be over the edge," end quote. And that's what a fashionable person would do. Ladies who love fashion, they're willing to take the risk to be over the edge. And so what did she do? She mixed her blue eyeshadow with some lip gloss to create a highly pigmented sky blue lipstick. She wore it out and ended up all over the blogs the next day just because she wanted to be a little bit risky when it came to her fashion statement. And we see here that beautiful blue lipstick. So she says, no one knew her by name. No one knew who I was, but everyone wanted to be the girl with the mohawk and the blue lipstick, she recounts. And she knew right away I had to come up with my own makeup line. And starting with that blue lipstick, it now retails for $17.99. And so this is just her journey. This is her being an entrepreneur, taking an advantage of something that was a risk at the time. And so she started cold calling makeup manufacturers and saying, "Hi, I see you're a makeup manufacturer. I want to launch a line of lipstick." Listen to the business savvy of this fashionable woman. "I want to launch a line of lipsticks in colors like orange, yellow, blue, and green." She got a lot of no's, but finally she got a maybe and proceeded to call back until she got a yes. Look at the consistency of this young woman. Her connections from modeling and the music world helped. KO's best friend is rapper Trina, and she designed a neon pink lipstick just for her. And there she is right there. And so those connections proved to be key in her journey to being a business owner. And then she also created a signature baby pink lipstick for Snooki from Jersey Shore, who was also a fan. And as KO tells it, the line became a music video staple. And I remember back in those days, of course, most videos, the women in the video vixens would have this colorful lipstick on. Now we know where it came from. It was successful, she says, because it was different. You couldn't get it from anywhere else. And then she officially founded KR Cosmetics in 2011 after the lipsticks gained popularity. So she just wasn't a nobody. According to KR, she made her first million in 6 months after launching the business.
Okay.
Right, right. And as you see, what that $1 million can do for you. Yes, the Rolls Royce, baby. Yeah. In the building. So, I want you to understand that this was her journey prior to meeting the rapper Gucci Mane. And she first ran into her future husband and rapper Gucci Mane on one of his music video sets in 2010. Her first impression of him was that of a gentleman. Now, she said that was her first impression. When they first met, Gucci Mane was having run-ins with the law, facing addiction, and he was eventually sentenced to 3 years in prison. Despite this, KR decided to remain with him. Even with this sacrifice, Gucci Mane would be the first to admit that there were times that he didn't treat her very well. He claimed that prison was a dark place. And although there were instances where he would shout at her over the phone, they still spoke every day while he was incarcerated. And then KR, watch this, built her schedule around him and sent organic groceries. She says, I remember telling him over the phone, just allow me to love you and come home to me. She believed that this love was how he managed to get through prison and come home safely. Eventually, he was released, and with the help of therapy, he managed to turn his life around. And I would like to suggest to you that it wasn't just therapy, but he had motivation. There was a post that Gucci Mane made that caused a bit of a stir quite some time ago prior to his wedding with Keisha. And here's the post. It says, everyone wants this, but what y'all forget was she was with Wild Gucci, on drugs Gucci, cheating Gucci, in jail Gucci, publicity with other women Gucci. This is after Gucci. This is Gucci after therapy and rehabilitation. This is a street man groomed in his 30s after he's been at his lowest point. Point is, this is a rider who knew what she signed up for. You exploit us with the next nigga after a couple of couples fights. So let me ask you a question. How do you feel about this post? Does it disturb you that she was willing to put up with all of this from Gucci? I know many of you are saying that you would never do that. My response would be that if you are in a relationship today, you may have already put up with that, but you just didn't know. How was Keisha able to take Gucci from that behavior to leveling up? How was she able to motivate him to turn, from this guy into that guy? Can you show them both side by side? Wow. Can you say change? Can you say motivation? I want you to know that this change did not go unnoticed as people started to see the physical changes in Gucci. Let's look at a comment. it says Gucci physically went from burr to a full heartthrob. I am so happy for them. Proof that anyone can change once letting go of negativity. Now this is relationship goals. All right, that's one comment. Let's look at another. This says they need to win an award for couple of the year because their style is immaculate. And so people were chiming in because they were seeing this change, that this metamorphosis that Gucci Mane went through. Not only was she able to motivate him to change, but she also stayed with him through the change. And so with no signs of turning back, someone made this post concerning Gucci and his change. It says, if you can't handle me at my 2007 Gucci Mane, you don't deserve me at my 2017 Gucci Mane. Now that's important. He's saying that if you didn't want him then you can't handle him now. You don't deserve him. And so if we look at the journey of this couple, we must admit that there had to be something that motivated Gucci to change. Something that made him level up, not only in his fashion, as is before our very eyes to see, but in his approach to relationships. This journey, I would say, from prison. Stuck by him then. Stuck by him in prison. And it went from that to this. Wow.
Oh, yeah!
Yes. And finally, to this. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, my question is this in fact the norm or is it an anomaly? Did Keisha just get lucky or can this be reproduced? What do you think? As I mentioned in my post, are all men high-value men? Is there no room for growth? I will be the first to tell you that yes, there's always room for growth. And let me just for a moment appeal to my fly guys just for a moment. Listen, you want to be with someone who not only motivates you to grow, but pushes you and then comforts you when the going gets tough and the road gets rough. I do in fact believe that there is another couple that for the sake of this discussion, I want to look at. And that couple is none other than Teyana and Iman. Wow. I would say that's a good looking couple. This couple is another one that is one of my budding favorite couples. I mean, it's just starting out. I recently watched, and I don't know if you guys are watching, an episode of their reality show, We Got Love. And I must admit that I am rooting for them. Are you rooting for them? Why? Because we need more examples of young black love on television. And yes, I would say this, the caveat being married examples. We don't want no hooking up, but we want some married couples, some young couples on television. You know, sometimes you watch the housewives and you wonder, why do they call themselves housewives with no husband? But I digress. So when I look at this couple, I'm rooting for them, not only because I want to see more examples of black love and married couples, but because I can see the influence that she has on him and that she is providing the right motivation for him to do the things that he may not have done otherwise. Remember, he's had a career in the NBA, but now you see him stepping out. For example, did you see him in the Showtime series, The Chi? He played a very good role. I want to say and suggest to you that it is not easy for athletes to leave sports and then to enter into the world of acting. And he appears to be doing so with ease. Why? Again, I believe that his fashionable wife, Tiana, is motivating him to level up. Let's look at that beautiful couple. Yes. Yes. Strong J. Can you see the transformation? It was Kid and Play. Yeah, the Gumby. I believe you will, as the show, their reality show plays out, as well as his career in acting and in music. That's right, music. I think we will see this change. Modeling. We will see this transformation. I want to suggest to you, and listen, I want you to hear it from a man's perspective. I want you to know that with the right motivation, a man will feel the freedom and the wherewithal to level up. Do you agree? Let me see you in the chat. Do you agree that with the right motivation, a man will feel the freedom to level up? Let me ask you, have you ever met someone and said, he has everything I want, but did you wish there was something you could do to remove the but? Well, let's look at this a little bit closer. What does it mean to level up? What does it mean to level up? Level up means to increase or to increase something, to make something better. Although there are several strategies for teaching men how to level up, there's one thing that I have found personally to be true, and that is that you can have the information, you can have the strategies, you can have all those available for you, just about anything. But if you aren't motivated, you simply won't use it. Can I get an amen in the chat? If you're not motivated, you will not use the information that is at your fingertips. And I, for one, will be the first one to admit that when it comes to self-improvement, look, I am self-motivated, but that is not the truth for everyone. The truth of the matter is that many of us will look into the mirror and only see perfection while looking at others and only seeing their flaws. Listen, have you ever been guilty of doing the same? You can see the flaws in others, but you can't see anything but perfection in you. In relationships, I want you to know that it is key to be able to see your own flaws more so than those of the person you are in a relationship with. Let me say that again. It is better to be able to see your own flaws more so than those of the person that you are in a relationship. The way it should be is that while you're working on your own flaws, so is your mate. They're working on theirs. Of course, we know that, again, that is simply not the way things go. Why do you ask? And let me ask you, why is that? Why is it that people will look at their own flaws and not do anything to change them, but look at you and want you to change your flaws, call them and bring them to your attention? Well, the reason is simply because we meet people, and this is what I believe, who attract us. We're attracted to them. And we determine that to be the deciding factor on whether or not we will allow them into our space. We get so caught up with the outer appearance that we don't dig deeper. And that's why I wanted to look deeper, as I stated in my post, to defining the word fashion. So Coco Chanel stated, and I quote, let's pull that quote up. It simply says, do we have the quote? That's it there. Yes. It says, fashion is not something that exists in dresses only. Fashion is in the sky, in the street. Fashion has to do with ideas, the way we live, and what is happening. That is from Coco Chanel. And so moving forward, I will often relate back to this definition of fashion. So now that we have defined it, let's look at our topic again. Can a fashionable woman motivate a man to level up? Can a woman who knows how to live, has ideas, and knows what is happening in the world around her, motivate a man to level up? And the answer, my friend, is simply yes. And here's how. From what I have researched from Keisha and Tiana, and what I know personally as someone who started from the bottom, now I'm here, I want to offer you the blueprint to motivating a man to level up. Number one, here's the blueprint. Be the change. Remember earlier when I mentioned the fact that most of us will look at ourselves in the mirror and see perfection, and look at others and see their flaws. One thing you can't do is do the same when you're trying to provide the right motivation. From what I've observed about Keisha and Tiana, for that matter, is that they were both focusing on improving themselves and building their careers and businesses. For some men, that may be intimidating. And for the sake of this argument, that man would not be concerned with leveling up, so you can bid him adieu. Bye-bye. But for those who want to do better, seeing his woman focusing her attention on becoming is motivation enough. So the first thing is, you must be the change that you want to see. Before you're meeting that young man, you want to be the change. And this is exactly who she was. She was a video vixen who was working on her businesses and her careers and her own change, her own transformation. Wow. This is the blueprint, and that's number one. Number two, you need proof, not potential. What do I mean by that? One thing I have often noticed, and that is simply that many women are impressed by potential and often fall in love with potential. If you do, then this simply is not for you. These women didn't see potential only, they saw proof. And that is what you need more than potential. There are so many men and women in the grave with great potential. But those who engage in this, and I must admit that this is not a journey for the faint of heart, nor the weary, but you must move based on proof and not potential. Need you to understand that proof shows that they are really positioned for change, and that change for the better. That change for the better. So you want proof. Don't just see potential. You want to see proof. There's a saying that goes like this: make sure that you inspect what you expect. Make sure that you inspect what you expect. See, if you're just looking for potential, then you will never see it. But if you look for proof, you'll see and you'll inspect what you're expecting. Proof, not potential. Blueprint number 3. Listen, this is a tough one, but don't be afraid to show love. Now note, I did not say don't be afraid to fall in love, but to show it. But truth be told, many of us fall in love, but we are afraid to show that we've fallen. So this one may be the most difficult yet. But if they have shown you proof and not just potential, it should make it a lot easier. A statement I read earlier from Keisha said, I remember telling him over the phone, just allow me to love you and come home to me. This is the statement she said to him while he was locked up. Allow me to love you. Let me say this. Those words mean a lot to a man who is on the precipice of leveling up. Knowing that you are loved and that you have someone to go home to is a motivator like no other. Yes. Yes. Lastly, blueprint number 4. Ask yourself, is it worth it? You really need to ask yourself this question, because this is an investment that may or may not pay off. I'm sure there are butterflies watching that have embarked on this journey and found it to be just not worthy of their investment. Anything short of this outcome, in my opinion, is not worth it. If this isn't the outcome, it's not worth it. Now, the reason your outcome was not worth the investment could be that you did not apply the right motivation, or the man you wanted to motivate did not see leveling up to be something that they wanted to do. I want to say this. There are more men out here that may not be high value men today, and the only reason is because they have yet to meet you.
Oh, yeah!
You are the fashionable woman that can motivate any man to level up. Listen, we have come to the end of our conversation on tonight, and I would like to first of all thank you for joining me. And I'm going to close out with this. When you look to motivate a man to do anything, you have to make certain that he is transforming and not just changing. You see, when you change, you always have the option to change back. But when you transform, there is no chance of going back. When a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, there's no going back to being a caterpillar for that butterfly. Thanks, Stephen. Shout out to Stephen for that little nugget there on transformation. So let's hope that both Gucci Mane and Iman are transforming. That's my hope. That's my hope for y'all. And so listen, to all of my beautiful butterflies and fly guys and everyone that has joined us on tonight. I want to say to you, this is the end of our show. I want to say to you to have a good night, have good fashion, and I want you to remember that he spoke fashion to you. That's all we have for tonight. I would read some of the chats here. Shout out to Stephen, good show, thank you. We're moving on. I want you to have a great night. That's all we have. See you next week. Yeah, in the building.
He spoke, fashion. I'm telling he spoke, fashion. I'm so bad. He spoke, fashion. I'm telling